Secklow Sound.
Bringing people and communities together on SecklowSounds.org.
Your listening station.
Good evening. This is your friend Howling Dick. No, it's not Wednesday night. It is Tuesday night, and this is Secklow Country. Malcolm may have ridden into the sunset, but we know that he would want the show to go on. So I'm sitting in his saddle this week to bring you the music that Malcolm knew you'd enjoy. Sit back and enjoy 2 hours of great country. We've got old school, new school, western swing, Americana, and as Clint says...
You want western? This is western.
Well, gather round, folks, I'm gonna tell you about a brand new dance that you gotta learn to do. It's called the Okie Boogie. You do it Okie style. That mean Okie Boogie drives everybody wild. It's gotta be fast, though it can't be slow. When you hear that rhythm, Lord, you gotta do-si-do. When you do the Okie Boogie and do it Okie style, that mean Okie Boogie is bound to drive you wild. Once you get started, it's hard to stop. If you don't watch out, you're gonna blow your top when you do the Okie Boogie and do it Okie style. That mean Okie Boogie drives everybody wild. Now old man Mose on the cane and the crutch tried to do the Okie Boogie just a little too much. He tried to overdo it, Oklahoma style. That mean Okie Boogie is bound to drive you wild. Now old man Mose on the cane and the crutch tried to do the Okie Boogie just a little too much. He tried to overdo it, Oklahoma style. That mean Okie Boogie is bound to drive you wild. Now that you got the beat, let me tell you what to do. Just grab your partner and follow on through. Do the Okie Boogie, Oklahoma style. That mean Okie Boogie drives everybody wild. But he's don't you leave that boy alone? Let him sing his song. Why don't you leave them boys alone? Let them sing their song. You know they're gonna do whatever they want. If you don't like the way they sing, who's gonna cast the first stone? Why don't you leave them boys alone? Let them sing their song. Hank Williams was the king of country soul. My dad took me to see him in Lubbock, but he didn't show. Now the people got mad and they all went home. The first thing we did was put his records on. I guess we should have left him alone and let him sing his song. Why don't you leave them boys alone? Let them sing their song. You know they're gonna do whatever they want. If you don't like the way they sing, one more time, Ernest, who's gonna cast the first stone? Why don't you leave them boys alone? Let them sing their song. Why don't you leave them boys alone? Let them sing their song. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Three's a crowd, one goes a five. Four good ways to wreck your life. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Before I got this Martin box, where I put my guns in hot. Every night was on the rocks. Before I got this Martin box. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Three's a crowd, one goes a five. No good ways to wreck your life. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Well, shot of brown and a glass of ice. Loosen up your fingers and eyes. Songs together, girls are fair. Some nights the kind can get you killed. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Three's a crowd, one goes a five. Four good ways to wreck your life. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Well, guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Three's a crowd, one goes a five. Four good ways to wreck your life. Guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives. Oh, guitars, whiskey, guns, and knives.
Whoa, we went off at a pace there. That was the Steel Drivers from their second album, Reckless, with a good recipe for Saturday nights. Guitars, whiskey, guns and knives. Before that, Mr. Hank Williams Jr. with Leave Them Boys Alone from his wonderful Pacificus box set. And we started off with a real favourite of mine, Don Walser, with the Okie Boogie from Here's to Country Music. Now, Don didn't take up professional singing till he was in his 60s, and he went on to make some of the sweetest country you ever heard, proving it's never too late. Don was an amazing yodeler, just like these guys. This is Petunia and the Vipers with the Cricket Song.
Are calling me on this full moonlit Canadian night, and I'm far away from home and I'm on the run, and I'm singing a song. Why the crickets are calling me on this full moonlit Canadian night. And there's a whisper in the willows and she's calling me. There's a whisper in the willows and she's calling me. Left my baby on a flat front step, left her reeling and rocking 'cause we ain't dead yet. Left her heart in the world, assuring a little girl that I won't forget. But honey, baby, sweetie pie, I gotta live, gotta go, gotta get free of my woes, and I count my little toes, and I know that 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 we ain't dead yet. Why the crickets are calling me on this full moonlit Canadian night, and your memories following me on this full moonlit Canadian night.
Would you lay with me in a field of stone? If my needs were strong, would you lay with me? Should my lips grow dry, would you wet them, dear, in the midnight hour? If my lips were dry, would you go away to another land, walk 1,000 miles through the burning sand, wipe the blood away from my dying hand, if I give myself to you? Will you bathe with me in the stream of life when the moon is full? Will you bathe with me? Will you still love me when I'm down and out in my time of trial? Will you stand by me? Would you go away to another land, walk 1,000 miles through the burning sand, wipe the blood away from my dying hand, if I give myself to you? Would you lay with me in a field of stone? If my lips grow dry, would you wet them, dear? Would you bathe with me in the stream of life? Will you still love me when I'm down and out? Would you lay with me in a field of stone when the moon is full? Will you lay with me?
Well, the wicked king of clubs awoke. It was to his queen he turned. His lips were laughing as they spoke. His eyes like bullets burned. The sun's upon a gambling day. The queen smiled low and blissfully. Let's make some wretched fool to pay. And plenty was, she did agree. Sent his deuce down into diamonds, 4 to hearts, trade of spades, and 3 kings with the legions coming. The preparations soon were made. Well, the voted club the day's commander, and to give him an army, face and number, all but the outlaw jack of diamonds and the aces in the sky. Give his sevens his best instruction. Spirit me a game of stud. Sticks unscarving limitations between a man named Gold and a man named Mud. Clubville go with greedy vapors until his long green eyes did glow. Mud was left with the sighs and trembles, watching his heart on money go. Flushes fell on gold like water. Tens he paired and paired again, but the aces only flew through heaven, and the diamond jack called no man friend. The diamond queen saw Mud's ordeal and began to think of a long lost son. Fell to her knees with a mother's mercy, prayed to the angels, everyone. That diamond queen, she prayed and prayed till the diamond angel filled Mud's hole, and the wicked king of clubs himself fell face down in front of gold. 3 kings come to club's command, but the aces from the sky did ride. 3 kings up on the streets of gold, 3 fireballs on the muddy side. The club queen heard her husband's call, but Lord, that queen diamond's joy when the outlaw in the heavenly hall turned out to be a wandering boy. Now muddy checked, go better all, muddy raised, the gold did call, and the smile just melted off his face. Mud turned over that diamond ace. Now here's what this story's told. If you feel like mud, you end up gold. If you feel like lost, you end up found. So let me go lay them raisins down.
Steve Earle with the Townes Van Zandt classic track Mr. Mud and Mr. Gold from the acoustic CD on his tribute set Townes. Before that, Mr. Johnny Cash, Would You Lay With Me from American 3, Solitary Man. I don't know about you, but I thought that Rick Rubin was fantastic the way he produced Johnny over those few albums. A fitting end to the most incredible career. Let's have some classic country now.
I've got your picture that you gave to me, and it's signed with love, just like it used to be. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got your picture, she's got you. I've got the records that we used to share, and they still sound the same as when you were here. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got the records, she's got you. I've got your memory, or has it got me? I really don't know, but I know it won't let me be. I've got your class ring that proved you cared, and it still looks the same as when you gave it, dear. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got these little things, she's got you. I've got your memory, or has it got me? I really don't know, but I know it won't let me be. I've got your class ring that proved you cared, and it still looks the same as when you gave it, dear. The only thing different, the only thing new, I've got these little things, she's got you.
His child and wife, Lord, he leads a miserable life, but still he thinks the bottle is his right hand. Yes, and he can tear down more than he's ever built before. A man can be a drunk sometimes, but a drunk can't be a man. He lets his business lag behind for the nightlife he can find. Why he does all this, he'll never understand. In the morning when he wakes up, Lord, he can't wait to fill his cup. A man can be a drunk sometimes, but a drunk can't be a man. For he goes from Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde. He seems proud to have the devil for his guide. Still he keeps on reaching out. Lord, he needs a helping hand. Lord, a man can be a drunk sometimes, but a drunk can't be a man. Yes, a man can be a drunk sometimes, but a drunk can't be a man.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? She's Got You by Patsy Cline, followed by George Jones, A Drunk Can't Be a Man. Well, I said it doesn't get much better than that, but I'll try my best. We're going to listen to some Graham Parsons straight after this.
Join me, Tony Carty, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. for Soundtracks, a programme of film music.
Are you crazy? The fall will probably kill you.
I'll have what she's having.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Soundtracks is also repeated on Sundays at midnight.
Darling, there is something I must tell you, you must know. But it's so hard to say the words I feel. This fancy that I'm on has been going on too long. It's time we stop pretending things are real. I've been living deep in sin, I've been living blind, and I don't know just what's right or wrong. To take a chance on losing you was such a silly thing to do. The chance I might wake up and find you gone. Any brighter flame would be a lie. Blue, so blue, my love still burns for you. But I know that I'll only make you cry. A thief can only steal from you, he cannot break your heart. He'll never touch the precious things inside. So one like you should surely be miles and miles away from me. Then you'd never care how much I've lied. So try to understand the pain. It takes so long when I explain. Please don't you forget how much I've lied.
I woke up this morning with Texas on my mind, thinking about my friends there, the girl I left behind, the way she held me when we kissed, love that we'd done. How I left her waving goodbye, standing in the Texas sun. I got a half a mind to call her, I got a half a mind to go. Jump a big jet liner and be winging on my way back home. All morning it was raining on the streets of Liverpool, so I stayed in and played guitar just like I always do. My mind kept going back in time to when we both had fun. How I left her waving to me, standing in the Texas sun. I got a half a mind to call her, half a mind to go. Jump the big jet liner and go winging on my way back home. In my dream she's still in love with me, but I'd have to travel back to see. If she's found somebody else, take the place of me. Always get to keep on dreaming my sunny memories. Wishing I was back there doesn't help me much at all. When you want to hold her, doesn't help you much to call. I'm stuck here in this seaport town, just longing for the one that I've left behind me there, standing in the Texas sun. I got a half a mind to call her, half a mind to go. Jump the big jet liner and go winging on my way back home. Yeah, I got a half a mind to call her, I got a half a mind to go. Jump that big jet liner and be winging on my way back home. All morning it was raining, and I saw her standing in the Texas sun.
Don't do anything mellow out the whiskey. Jimmy says that's so unfortunate. But let the people have the whiskey be a bundle of nerves and don't sing on what they're missing. 'Cause if you do, your musical insurance better be paid up. Don't sing anything pretty at the whiskey. Johnny says you best take my advice, 'cause a stony little crowd will get to talking even louder and they'll smother you in hissing. And if they do, your musical insurance better be paid up. Johnny said that's so unfortunate. pull out the whiskey, be a bundle of nerves, and don't say what they're missing. Like Sunny mornings, 50 flies, just going 15 miles an hour. 'Cause if you do, your musical insurance better be paid up. 'Cause if you do, your musical insurance better be paid. Whoa.
The great Kenny Loggins and Jim Messina from their classic Full Sail album, Whiskey. I used to play that album to death. Before that, we had two great country singer-songwriters, the legendary Graham Parsons with How Much I Have Loved, followed by Mr. Jerry Jeff Walker, Texas on My Mind. It's kind of strange for me to be here tonight in Malcolm's cowboy boots with all of his friends who I know loved him dearly. I hope you're going to like the stuff I'm playing, and all I can really do in honour of his memory is to keep playing great music. I know that Malcolm's taste certainly honoured the past, but he was also interested in new music, and I think he'd very much approve of this band. This is the Stray Birds.
Work my hands, work my hands till they're blistered, bloody and damp. Walk my feet down the dirt roads, the alleys and the streets. Shine my light down the dark holes, the tunnels and the nights. You know my name, I feel you now. Can you reach me? Will you try? Cross this land, oh, the prairies, the mesas and the sands. Dance these lines through the moonlight, the willows and the pines. Take my time with the wild nights, the wonder and the wine. I dream of you and I in the by and by. Can you reach me? Will you try? I got heavy hands and the rings to bear it. It's a foreign tale, I don't often share it. This hungry feeling, still I wear it. It's mine all the time. Until the day I die, you try. He was a hobo, she was his bride. He courted her near the jungle fire. The long steel rail they chose to ride. Forever on and 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 on. Wedding day, his suit was threadbare. Among spring flowers, she dressed in white with bows in her hair. We danced for hours. We danced for hours. Came a dying yell from heights they could not gain. The rail was shattering. They jumped from the boxcar of that old steam train. It was gone nearly 100 miles an hour. 100 miles an hour. The tail of a Halley's comet through the sky, through the sky. She was his bride. He courted her near the jungle fire. The long steel rail they chose to ride. Forever on and 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 on. On and on. On and on. On and on. On and on.
Wonderful. Mr. Woody Pines with Hobo and His Bride from one of my albums of the year, Rabbit's Motel. And if you stick around with me, you'll hear a lot of that. Not only here on Secklow Country, but also on my blues show, Blues from the MK Delta, on Wednesday nights. I love music that crosses the genres between country and blues. Well, I like country blues. Before that was Heavy Hands by Stray Birds from our album Stray Birds. And each member was raised within a few miles of farmland from each other in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And the legend goes that Maya de Vitry, a beautiful lady, and Oliver Craven first shared a song in January 2010 when a snowy Pennsylvania winter welcomed collaboration between the two creative flames. Well, that's how legends are born, isn't it?
Classics from scratch. Discover classical music with me, Catherine Rose. I'll be joined by special guests from the musical world and a visit from Lady Effingham, who has a lot to say about the classical music scene. I'll be live here every Thursday with a mixture of the familiar and the new. Join me on Classics from Scratch on Thursdays at 2, online at secklowsounds.org.
This is a band called Rose's Pawn Shop.
yesterday. From the gray LA air, cheek to cheek to cheek, chiquitita. Yo soy amoroso. What could be wrong with the hombre who sings so slow from up in California? Rosarita, forget that border check, please. You won't have to sneak 2 or 3 times a week. And your green card, duck at the vet, then we'd never be shown. 'Cause you've got my heart on permanent loan. Cheek to cheek to cheek, chiquitita. Yo soy amoroso. What could be wrong with the hombre who sings so low from up in California?
If you need some advice in being lonely, if you need a little help in feeling blue, if you need some advice on how to cry all night, come to me. I'm the man with the blues. I'm the man with 100,000 heartaches. I got a good selection, old and new. So if you need a little shove in fouling up in love, come to me. I'm the man with the blues. If you need some advice in being lonely, if you need a little help in feeling blue, if you need some advice on how to cry all night, come to me. I'm the man with the blues. I'm the man with 100,000 heartaches. I got most any color of the blues. If you need a little shove in fouling up in love, come to me. I'm the man with the blues. Come to me. I'm the man with the blues.
I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying doing this show tonight. That was Willie Nelson with Man with the Blues from his album Country Music. Before that, we had the legendary Lowell George from Little Feat, from his one and only solo album. I think he only ever made one solo album. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that was called Thanks, I'll Eat It Here. And that track was Cheek to Cheek, which has stayed with me for years. I just love that mariachi sound. And before that, we had Rose's Pawn Shop, wonderful new band, at least they're new to me, with a song, the opening song, Dancing on the Gallows, from the album of the same name. And this is Ray Bonneville.
What's that I see? Is that her on her way back home? Or do my eyes deceive me? We had a falling out the night before she said she was gone away. She put on a coat, walked to the door. What was I to see? I said, please think about the good times we had. I said, please think about the good times, not the bad. I spent yesterday wandering aimlessly. My head down, I was blue. I couldn't believe it happened to me. I cried like a fool. Who can say and do the right thing every time when it comes to love? Who don't stumble every once in a while? Tell me who's above it. Please think about the good times we had. I said, please think about the good times, not the bad. Talking about, don't it happen to everyone? It'll carve a hole in your heart like a bullet from a gun. What's that sound? What's that I hear? Is that a key unlocking the door? Is there something wrong with my ear? I said, please think about the good times we had. I said, please think about the good times, not the bad. Not the bad. Please think about the good times we had. Think about the good times, not the bad. Not the bad.
May you hold me in your embrace.
see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love. Oh, the cage bird dreams of a strong wind that will flow beneath her wings, like a voice longs for a melody. Oh, Jesus, carry me. Oh, won't you take me from this valley, that mountain high above? Oh, I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray till the one I love. Oh, I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love.
Hovering by my suitcase, trying to find a warm place to spend the night. A heavy rain a falling, seems I hear your voice calling. It's alright. A raining night in Georgia, a raining night in Georgia. Oh, I believe it's raining all over the world. Neon signs are flashing, taxi cabs and buses passing through the night. The distant moaning of a train seems to play a sad refrain to the night. A rainy night in Georgia. It's such a rainy night in Georgia. Lord, I believe it's raining all over the world. How many times I've wondered, it still comes out the same. No matter how you look at it, think of it, you just got to do your own thing. Yeah. I find me a place in a boxcar, so I take out my guitar to pass some time. Late at night when it's hard to rest, I hold your picture to my chest and I'm alright. A rainy night in Georgia. Lord, it's such a rainy night in Georgia. It's raining all over the world.
Raining on
Tony Joe White, Rainy Night in Georgia. I don't think he ever made a bad track. We started that with Ray Bonneville with Good Times from his new album Bad Man's Blood. And before that was the Civil Wars, sadly now parted, with a track called From the Valley, which is the opening song from Mercyland, Hymns for the Rest of Us, which is a wonderful compilation. And I'm going to play you something else from that. And this is the incomparable Miss Emmylou Harris.
She never wanted a baby. It would just complicate her life. But after years of wine and roses, she became somebody's wife. And he had always dreamed of children, so she reluctantly gave in. She held her newborn daughter. She felt her life finally begin. She cried, "My darling, please forgive me. I've been lost and I've been blind, trying to fill the empty places. While you've been waiting all this time, one true thing is all I want, one pure light to shine on through. Oh, my darling, please forgive me. I didn't know never thought he would marry too many women to explore, and even standing at the altar, he knew somehow he wanted more, until the night he almost lost her. Beside her bed and cried for all the love he never gave her. He felt so ashamed and sad. He cried, "My darling, please forgive me. I've been lost and I've been blind, to fill the empty places, while you've been waiting all this time. One true thing is all I wanted, one pure light to shine on through. Oh, my darling, please forgive me. I didn't know it was you. We walk this world in trouble with an ache inside our souls. We can't hide it with religion. We can't buy it off with gold. And the pleasures we all reach for, they're just masters of disguise. lies right before our eyes. Oh, dear Father, please forgive us. We've been lost and we've been blind, trying to fill the empty places while you've been waiting all this time. One true thing is all we want, one pure light to shine on through. Oh, dear Father, please forgive us. We didn't know it was you.
It was late one night in the heart of town. I was drinking all alone. Ran out of cash when I paid my tab, so I headed home. The night was black, the air was thick as I wandered past the bar. Then a shot rang out and I heard a scream beside me in the dark. Afraid that maybe I'd be next, I started to run just as fast as my feet would go into the barrel of a gun. The lawman's light was blinding me. He said, "Why'd you do it, son?" 2 weeks later in a criminal court, I was up on murder one. Maybe some early morning in a pasture of green beside the still water, I'll awake from this dream, this terrible dream. Well, I sat there in the courtroom as the tears ran down my face. The guilty man is free somewhere and they put me in his place. The jury read the verdict and the judge called out my name. Said, "Young man, you'll spend your life wearing the ball and chain." Now I'm staring at the ceiling as I lay here on my bed. 14 long and lonely years, it's where I've laid my head. Behind these cold gray prison walls, time sure passes slow. And unless I die tomorrow, I've still got a life to go. Maybe some early morning in a pasture of green beside the still water, I'll awake from this dream, this terrible dream. Vision will live and die alone. In the cold walls of this prison, my heart has turned to stone. The lights are growing dimmer as I take my final breath. I can smell the air of freedom as I close my eyes in death.
in a pasture of green, beside the still water, I'll awake from this dream, this terrible dream.
Well, first up was Emmylou Harris with Didn't Know It Was You from Mercyland, and then followed with Dan Tominski with the closing track from his album Wheels. Dan's also on the Mercyland album, as is Buddy Miller, Sean Mullins and North Mississippi All-Stars, plus lots of others. It's a must listen, and I will be playing more from it in the next couple of weeks. Now, as I've always said, you can't have a country show without Hank Williams.
Now when I woke up this morning, there was a note up on my door. Said, don't make me no coffee, babe, 'cause I won't be home no more. And that's all she wrote. Dear John, I've sent your saddle home. Now Jonah got along in the belly of the whale, Daniel in the lion's den. I know a man, he didn't try to get along, and he won't get a chance again. And that's all she wrote. Dear John, I fetched your saddle home. Now she didn't forward no address, she didn't say goodbye. All she said was, when you get blue, just hang your little head and cry. That's all she wrote. Dear John, I've sent your saddle home. I like this one. My gal's short and stubby, she's strong as she can be. And if that little old gal of mine ever gets a hold of me, that'll be all she wrote. Dear John, I fetched your saddle home. Her head. Now Jonah got along in the belly of the whale, Daniel in the lion's den. I know a man, he didn't try to get along, and he won't get a chance again. And that's all she wrote. Dear John, I've sent your saddle home. Now I went down to the bank this morning, the cashier said with a grin, I feel so sorry for you, Hank, but your wife has done been in. And that's all she wrote. Dear John, I fetched your saddle home. Yes, sir.
If I was on some foggy mountain top, I'd sail away to the west. I'd sail all around this whole wide world to the girl I love the best. If I had to listen what Mama said, I would not have been here today, lying around this old jailhouse, weeping my sweet life away. Ole, 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 ole. Oh, when you see that girl of mine, there is something you must caused me to mourn, she's caused me to leave my home. Oh, that lonesome pine and those good old times, I am on my way back home. Ole, 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 ole. Oh, when you go a courting, I'll tell you how to do. Pull off that long tail roustabout, put on your navy blue. Ole, 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 ole.
Midnight, I've spent another lonely day thinking of you. Midnight, tomorrow is on its way, empty and blue. I am so lonely at midnight for you. Midnight, oh what a lonely time to weep. I ought to know. Midnight, I should have been fast asleep hours ago. Still I'm crying 'cause I miss you so. Midnight, I lie in bed awake and stare at nothing at all, wondering why you don't care, wishing you'd call. Tears keep flowing like drops from a waterfall. Midnight, I've spent another lonely day thinking of you. Midnight, tomorrow is on its way, empty and blue. I am so lonely at midnight for you.
Country royalty, Mr. Red Foley with Midnight. Before that, the Carter Family with Foggy Mountain Top. And to start with, the King himself, Hank Williams, with Dear John. Well, wherever you are, Malcolm, I hope you're enjoying this. In a second, I'm going to play you a new band. But first this.
Articulate, the Milton Keynes radio programme for those interested in the arts. From sculpting to acting, from dancing to mosaics, with fascinating guests and interesting topics every week. Tune in on Friday mornings from 10 a.m. to noon.
Yesterday's coffee sits by the window. Nobody really wants yesterday's coffee. I know you're thinking about leaving, but every morning I'm still hoping I'm here. I'll do, but you're feeling something new. I'm here, I'll do, but you're feeling something new. Yesterday's romance, just like a slow dance, ended too soon. Now you call the tune. Nobody's sleeping, chamomile steeping, those delicate flowers are no remedy. I'm here, I'll do, but you're feeling something new. I'm here, I'll do anything you ask me to. But Saturday was a golden day. Little birds dancing on our gate. For a moment, we were back in style. Oh, we never saw it coming. No, we never saw it coming our way. Yesterday's coffee sits by the window. I got your postcard from Hotel Paisano. Our things become clear in Marfa, my dear. Don't say you miss me, I love a mystery. I'm here, I'll do, tell me something new. I'm here, I'll do anything you ask me to. I'm here, I'll do, tell me something new. I'm here, I'll do anything you ask me to.
Way down in Dixie, oh, do they miss me down along the Dixie line? banjos are strumming, horseflies are humming, ripe melons on the vine. The gold and the gray weed sing, look away, way down along the Dixie line. I spent my childhood walking the wildwood down along the Dixie line. Freight trains are squalling, eyeballs are bawling, 4 engines at a time. I was so happy with Mama and Pappy down along the Dixie line. Can't you hear those drivers wail? Can't you see those bright rails shine? Gonna catch that fireball mail, leave the Northland far behind. A river of whiskey flows down in Dixie, down along the Dixie line. They pulled up the tracks now, I can't go back now, can't hardly keep from crying. Oh, do they miss me way down in Dixie, down along the Dixie line? Can't you hear those drivers wail? Can't you see those bright rails shine? Wanna catch that fireball mail, leave the Northland far behind. Down along the Dixie line.
the wonderful Patty Griffin with Ohio from her new album American Kid. I know she did a session with Robert Plant at Rough Trade a few nights ago. Would have loved to have been there. I did see her on the Jules Holland, and if you saw her on the show, I'm sure you'll have bought the album already. Before that, the magnificent Gillian Welch with Down Along the Dixie Line from last year's Harrow and the Harvest. Another one that never makes a bad album. And as promised, we started with a new band, I See Hawks in LA, with Yesterday's Coffee from their album Mystery Drug. Now, they're a band that I think we're going to hear a lot from. You certainly will on this show, while I'm in the chair anyway. How about a bit of J.J. Cale?
Miss old St. Louis, wish I was back, picking my guitar by the railroad track. All them pretty women's hanging round me. Miss old St. Louis, how it used to be. Mississippi River, water so deep, running down the Memphis on to New Orleans, trying to hustle quarters, nickels and dimes. Old St. Louis, where I spent my time. Standing on the corner with my old wooden box, watching them steamboats gather at the dock. Cotton and tobacco and the people for sale, trying to stay clear of the St. Louis jail. Strumming to the rhythm of an old freight train. Old St. Louis where I played my game. Ain't no doubt about it, wish I was back, picking my guitar by the railroad track. All them pretty women's hanging round me. Miss old St. Louis, how it used to be.
Anymore it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. We've been injuring each other for much too long, and it's too late to try to say what might have been. It's over. Nobody wins. Make believing in forever is just a lie, and it seems a little sadder each time we try, 'cause it's a shame to make the same mistakes again and again. It's over. gone too far, too long, too far apart. The loving was easy, it's the living that's hard, and there's no need to stay to see the waiting. It's over. Nobody wins. It's over. Nobody wins.
Christopherson there, with Nobody Wins, and that followed J.J. Cale's Miss Old St. Louis from his album Guitar Man. I'm going to try and cram as much music as I can in before we run out of time, so let's hear from the Desert Rose Band.
You turn away, you won't look at me. You seem to think that I just can't see. I was hoping he was out of your heart, but he's still calling you. Now he's back and I'm blue. I forgot about yesterday. Those memories seem so far away. All it took was just a whisper to start a flame burning anew. Now he's back and I'm blue. Ooh, that old feeling, filling up your dreams again. Ooh, it comes stealing, taking you away. I guess there's nothing left for me to do. I can't stop him from living in you, 'cause the past can only pull us apart. Still you carry it through. Now he's back and I'm blue. Ooh, that old feeling, filling up your dreams again. Ooh, it comes stealing, taking you away. You turn away, you won't look at me. You seem to think that I just can't see. I was hoping he was out of your heart, but he's still calling you. Now he's back and I'm blue. Now he's back and I'm blue. Now he's back and I'm blue.
All the snow's turned to water.
Christmas days have come and gone. Broken toys and faded colors are all that's left to linger on. I hate graveyards and old pawn shops, for they always bring me tears. I can't forgive the way they rob me of my childhood souvenirs. Memories that can't be bought, they can't be won at carnivals for free. Well, it took me years to get those souvenirs, and I don't know how they slipped away from me. Broken hearts and dirty windows make life difficult to see. That's why last night and this morning always look the same to me. I hate reading old love letters, for they always bring me tears. I can't forgive the way they rob me of my sweetheart's souvenirs. Memories that can't be bought, they can't be won at carnivals for free. Well, it took me years to get those souvenirs, and I don't know how they slipped away from me.
Without a doubt, one of the greatest songwriters of his generation, Mr. John Prine, with Souvenirs from the classic album Diamonds in the Rough. And that's it for this week's show. Thanks so much for letting me, Howling Dick, into your home tonight with all of this fabulous music. And I'm going to play out now with the same song I played last week on the tribute show to Malcolm. This for me is one of the greatest country songs sung by possibly the greatest blues singer of all time. This is Mr. Ray Charles with Your Cheating Heart. Till the next time.
Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come. The whole night through, your cheating heart will tell on you. When tears come down, like falling rain, you toss around
the way I do. Your cheated heart will tell on you. Will tell on when tears come down, like falling rain, you toss around, and call my name. You walk the floor the way I do. In your cheated heart will tell on you. Your cheated
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Secklow Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Secklow Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.